everyone, welcome. My name is Amber Gonzalez and I am so glad you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. So right now I am just on my way to Walmart and then I got to go pick up my husband from work. So I spend a lot of time in the car back and forth to places, dropping off my husband and my daughter to work and picking them up. So that's fun. Anyways, so I want to start off by saying that when you finally stop with the back and forth when it comes to decision making, that's when things begin to move in emotion. That's when things begin to work in your favor. So I shared with you guys last time about how we were on this long pause from pursuing our dreams because we were trying to decide if pursuing a home was still something we should do. We were looking at the future and everything that was possibly entailed into that future, and we just weren't sure. So we were back and forth with that. And then my husband decided, yes, okay, we'll buy a home. But then the question came up, okay, where do we buy a home? And the reason we were considering even moving again was because of connections out here. We love it out here. We really do love it out here. We love our church. We love the leaders. We love the people. We love serving there. But connections have been hard. And that is a huge thing to consider when you're living somewhere. You want to be connected. You want to feel connected to people. And that's just been kind of hard. So I also shared with you guys about how we went on a coffee date. And after a very long time of trying to decide, my husband was just like, it was like, okay, this could have been done a long time ago, but he just made it seem like it was so simple. And he was just like, look, this is what we're going to do. God opened the door here. We're going to stay here and we're going to buy a home here. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I had my Bible with me and I had my journal with me. So I opened up my journal and I began to write out a contract. And my husband was looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, are you seriously writing that? I was like, yes, I am. And I was like, and you're going to sign it too. And so I had my Bible with me. I should have had him put his left hand on the Bible and raise his right hand and swear an oath to God. But I didn't take it that far. But anyways, I wrote out the contract and then he got all excited. He was just like, okay, but you got to put a clause. Put in a clause. I was like, okay, fine. Put in the clause. And then we both signed it. Let me tell you though, since that day, things began to move in emotion. Connections were starting to happen more and quicker. So I say all of this to say that being decisive sets you up for success. It moves your future into motion. Now, there are two groups of people that I want to speak to right now. And the first group of people is if you are one who struggles with indecisiveness, if you have a hard time making decisions, here are some tips that I want to give you. Okay? One, pray. You got to be in prayer, asking God about these decisions that you have to make. Now, I'm not talking about when you go to the store and you're like, what kind of cereal do I buy? Or little things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about major purchase decisions or major life-changing decisions that you have to make because they're not going to only affect you, but it's going to affect other people most likely around you. And so you want to make sure you're in prayer. Be in prayer. Secondly, you want to count your costs. You want to count your costs. You want to write down the pros and cons. All of that. Do your research. Okay? Do your research. But know that your research will only take you so far. There is only so much research you can do before you finally just hit the wall and you just have to make that decision. And make sure you don't drag it out because more times than not, you have someone waiting on you to make that decision. So you're going to drive them crazy otherwise. So don't drag it out, but don't do anything out of compulsion either. But do everything you have to do, but make that decision. The goal is to be decisive, not indecisive. Now, the second group of people I want to talk to are those that maybe you don't struggle with indecisiveness. Maybe being decisive comes more natural for you. So my challenge to you guys is to be patient with those that do struggle with it and help them. Help them to keep things moving along at a reasonable pace. You don't want to overwhelm them, but you don't want them to drag it out either. So kind of help them to go at a good pace. So listen, you guys, there's no room for indecisiveness when it comes to what God has already ordained to be true. Okay? The goal, again, is to be decisive. It sets you up for success. It gets your future into motion. It gets it moving. And so, let me encourage you, be decisive when it comes to such big matters. All right? And if you haven't done so, start today, because there is no time like the present time. Take care, you guys.